One day, No Time to Die is going to be described as one of the unluckiest films ever made. Now, some of its missteps were completely of its own making. Having the big streaming reveal featuring a load of bored-looking actors and no actually interesting reveals on the same day that Avengers Endgame came out springs to mind. There were also rumours of the shoot itself being a nightmare, with the actors not being free, Craig getting injured, rewrites. But since then, the main issue has been, when does this film hit the silver screen, as this film's release date has been moved around more often than I did when I was a student. First meant to be released in Easter of 2020, the film has now been moved around multiple times and is now allegedly going to be released in the UK on September 30th, before allegedly being released a week later, October the 8th, in the US. This makes No Time to Die the first Bond film to be released in September since Goldfinger. And I'm already annoyed. I don't mind us getting it a day before the Colonials, but I will bet my script guy's hair that within 24 hours of being released, that a canned version will be available for those who sail the seven seas, which will hurt the box office, which means that the next Bond film will have a harder time getting made, which I disagree with, or will next time get a smaller budget, which I do agree with. Now, at time of recording, No Time to Die is not the first blockbuster to be released onto the silver screen. Assuming that inside cinemas do reopen on May 17th, as drive-ins can reopen on May 12th, you have Black Widow, Fast 9, Venom 2, Venom Harder, The Suicide Squad, and Top Gun Maverick, all allegedly coming out first, so the box office should be warmed up and happily printing money again and proving that cinemas are safe, which is good since Bond's main audience are slightly older than the usual suspects for a blockbuster. However, if like my father you don't want to go to a room full of people rustling crisp packets, playing on their phones, talking, etc., and are waiting for the film to come out at home so you can watch it in peace, then you only have to wait 45 days after its cinematic opening if you have Paramount Plus. Yes, you heard me right. According to mi6hq.com, in a slew of announcements ahead of the launch of the new streaming service, Paramount Plus, which is a rebranding of the flop CBS All Access, the studio dropped a big Bond bombshell. Paramount will move their new releases onto Paramount Plus after 45 days, slashing the usual 90-day theatrical exclusivity window in half. This means new films, including the upcoming Mission Impossible 7, will be available to stream just 45 days after opening in cinemas. Paramount has expanded its strategic relationship with MGM-owned Epix on a number of content agreements. Paramount Plus will get access to the large swathe of movies currently licensed to Epix, including the James Bond catalogue, dramatically boosting the library available to subscribers. They will also release some of their new films on both Epix and Paramount Plus at the same time. In return, MGM will host their new films on their paid TV platform and then make them available both on the Epix and Paramount Plus streaming platform after 90 days. This means that No Time to Die, following its initial theatrical release, will be available on Epix pay TV service, and then we'll head to both Epix and Paramount Plus. All of this is subject to MGM not being successful in finding a buyer if they manage to close an acquisition deal before October. All of these plans could be torn up for No Time to Die's home media release. So, why would you go to the cinema with all the hassle that entails when a few weeks later you're streaming it from the comfort of your own home? Oh right, Paramount Plus is only available in the US with no mention of a UK release date, which makes me very, very cross. Firstly, because the traditional 90-day window is now a thing of the past, but also because everywhere outside of the US, it's going to get an HD copy of No Time to Die released upon the open seas. So, to sum up, after moving around like a frog on a hot plate, No Time to Die has picked a pretty solid release date, but instead of a global release date, which makes sense, it gets released in stages around the world, and then 45 days after that it goes to streaming, no word yet on ye olde DVD release dates, which is a release schedule I can only think is a good idea if the studio feels like the film is going to flop and wants to be able to hide that fact from the shareholders. Just globally release the thing on September the 30th and then release it to streaming and DVD around Christmas. It's so much simpler. But what do you think? When/if will you be seeing this film? And will you be getting yet another streaming service in Paramount Plus? I'm Daniel. So if you've enjoyed this video, I'm Daniel. It's been a dunking. If you've enjoyed this... So I've been Daniel. This has been a dunking. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe.